Hey, this is me building a $3 million a year business in public. The way these videos go is I always start with a little bit of Q&A just to give you guys some immediate value right off the bat. Then I do some growth stats so you guys can see my growth over about a 24-hour period or so. Then finally, I round it out with some live strategy. We've been a little light on the live strategy over the last couple of days. Maybe we'll do some more today. My main channel at almost 121K subs. This over here is my daily updates at 6,000. And all I do is I just go to the community tab and I scroll all the way down to the very bottom. So as you guys can see, I now have a pen, which is cool. I didn't have a pen over the course of the last week or so, and I really missed that because I thought it added a lot to my presentation here. I'm a little bit tired, so we're going to have to take this one day at a time. It's waking up at the ass crack of dawn here, but don't really have much time to get this done later on in the day, so I thought I would do it now. So please pardon my terrible answers if they do end up being terrible. Maxime Prenko says, Yo, Nick, been following your daily updates since day one, never skipped a day. Most people try to repurpose your content into clips or carousels, but I had a different angle. I took your best answers, especially the ones where you break down real problems guys are stuck on, and rewrote them as a daily newsletter email. So even if they miss the video, they get value straight to their inbox. Where can I send them to you? You can send them to me at nick@nicksaraev.com. That's my new email address for anything information product related. And the agency stuff is left click, okay? Poindexter says, hey, Nick, what value can one get from your Skool versus watching the How to Build an AI Business video? Which one's that? How to Build an AI Business. Nick, man, I've made so many of these recently. This one here? Or maybe this one here. That one? Anyway, I was thinking of joining the Skool, but I'm about halfway through the video and I've been taking action along the way. Would it still be beneficial to join the Skool? Well, if you're going to ask a man who sells a paid product specifically helping you with building an AI business, whether you should join his AI business paid product, most people will probably say yes. I am of the mind that my product is valuable enough to warrant you paying the money to get in. But I will say, if you are the sort of person that doesn't require a daily accountability structure, if you're the sort of person that has historically been able to get up and running with this stuff, comparatively, there is less value in that community because that's the whole point. The whole point is daily accountability. I just check in with you several times every 24 hours, give you QA, and then give you some live FaceTime with me. Not everybody needs that to the same degree. So if you are not one of those people, then absolutely just get up and going, make some money. And then when you make some money, then you can join. Andy BJJ04 says, Yo, Nick, question, how much more time do you think automators have left to really get a piece of the AI automation pie? In essence, how long do you think remains before the automation space is saturated? What is the time window for that? I think sometime over the course of the next 2 to 3 years. I've been saying that for the better part of the last 6 months. Maybe it's 2 to 2.5 years. Now, saturation is a really relative term. Just because something is quote unquote saturated doesn't actually mean that it's not like something that you can make money in. Saturation is kind of like peak oil. If anything, the saturation point will be where the most amount of money is possible using the business model. And then from there, it'll go down. Because keep in mind that interest in the business model is also increasing over time. And then so is the average impact that a system that we build can make for a business, just because AI technology itself is improving. So yeah, it's going to be one of these sorts of dealios. I reckon we're somewhere right over here right now. We're kind of on our way up. We're going to hit up. And then you know what? You can still make a ton of money on the way down too. So obviously if I were you, I would get up and running with this stuff ASAP. No market tactic lasts forever. But even if, the specific tactics that we're talking about here today don't work forever, there will be a combination of some other new business model that I'm sure I will learn about and be happy to run you guys through. Hey, Nick, Omar says, really appreciate the value you provide. I wanted your advice in regards to the cold email system. Wanted to provide that as a service for consultants, but I can't figure out how that will connect them to the target clients. I see mostly they get clients from networking and referrals, so not really sure. Any advice how cold email will work for consultants? Cold email works fantastic for consultants. Keep in mind that as a software development or a no-code development agency, as an AI automation business, you are basically a consultant. So I pitch people in the AI and automation vertical on using the cold email system to get themselves clients all the time. I use it to get my own clients all the time. You are a consultant. The same system that works for you will work for more or less any other consultant too. So you don't need to worry about, whether or not this works for consultants. It does. I mean, the proof is in the pudding, right? If you are a consultant, you're using the system to acquire clients, then yeah, by definition, it's working. But also you can head down over here to niche packs inside of Maker Skool. Then I also have a bunch of other systems that you could sell too. So unique repurposing content creator, some trend detectors here, and then also a YouTube comment ideator. All of these things are pretty good. These over here basically replace like 1 of 10, which is a service that you could pay for. vidIQ, these sorts of services, they just help you find outliers for like inbound flows. Then the YouTube stuff is, basically for people that are making long form content like I am. But yeah, cold email works great for consultants, man, coaches, and so on and so forth. Okay, Steve says, I'm the one who's targeting interior designers and architecture for art pieces. Send you the email copy in your email given on LinkedIn. Would like to hear your thoughts on the copy and for the roast. Steve Abraham, let's take a peek here. That's not the one that I wanted to do. Steve Abraham. Sorry about this, guys. Nope. I got to go over here, I guess. Steve Abraham, right over here. I don't see a Steve Abraham. Where are you, Steve? I'm on my email. Okay, given on LinkedIn too? Well, maybe I'll find you on LinkedIn. Steve Abraham. Let's see, which one looks like Steve? Handsome fellow with dark hair. Could this be him right over here? I don't know. Maybe I go to messaging. I go Steve Abraham, like this. Steve, my man, I'm not finding you here. You're going to have to specify. Maybe add a link or something like that. That's a little bit better. Okay, this is Steve Koruthu. Is that you? Oh, yeah, that's totally you. Okay, cool. Abraham Koruthu. This must be a middle name or something. All right. Hey, Nick, hope you've seen the YouTube comment. Thought I'd share my copy and don't waste time for your approval since you're always on the work for more. Here it goes. Hey, X. I've been working in the architecture space for about a year now. Really admire the projects you've done at company name. Looks like you got a weird space here. I'd fix that up. You really admire the projects they've done at company name. Well, this is like pretty cookie cutter, I will say. I think, Steve, if you were a person that does architecture and you saw that, you'd probably think like, is this person just bullshitting here? I'd love to introduce you to our company. You'd love to. Well, I'll tell you what, the customer doesn't care if you love to do something. We create high-end glass art, including chandeliers and sculptures made by our talented artists. Typically, when you tell somebody that you're talented, they think you're less talented. If you're really talented, you'll show them, you won't tell them, which is what it seems like you do down here. But how are you showing them? You're probably going to be including some image or something like that. That's going to impact your deliverability a fair amount. The only time in which I might actually include an image or something, some sort of asset in a campaign is if I have something that I'm giving somebody, because then that significantly improves the reply rate and it trades off with the deliverability impact. Okay, so anyway, so where am I here? What I would probably say is instead of I'd love to introduce you to our company, don't say stuff like that. Just say, I create high-end glass art, including chandeliers and sculptures, something like that. If you have some sort of social proof, I'd say it. Or I'd say like, hey, my brother and I, or whatever this is. I don't know if this is like a family business or whatever. No, I guess you're just targeting them. But like, I don't know like what this is. I and my family and I, my brother and I, just try and make it as personalized as humanly possible. My colleague and I, my classmate and I. I mean, like it can be literally be anything, but like, just don't use the term we. It just makes it seem too company. It'd be great if you could take a look at our work. I'd love to explore ways we could collaborate on future projects. You can see more of our work here. Company link. Thanks so much, Steve. Why? So yeah, I think the copy is pretty bad. I'd probably rate this as like a 3 out of 10 as it stands, maybe like a 4 out of 10. I think if you were to start sending this, you'd basically just get crickets unless the audience that you were sending it to was just, I don't know, just the most amazing audience in the whole wide world. This might have worked like in the mid 2000s or something like that, but it doesn't really work that well now just because people are used to this sort of stuff. So yeah, you definitely gotta go a lot deeper. Like for instance, let's say somebody's actually interested in working with you. What are you forcing them to do here? You've given them no defined outreach method. In fact, what you've said is, I'd love to explore ways we could collaborate on your future projects. What this is basically doing, Steve, just to be clear, is you are forcing the person that is now actually interested in working with you to do a ton of additional labor in order to get this offer off the ground. You are leaving it so damn open that the person has no idea where to start. They're going to read that email and they're going to be like, I wonder, are there ways we could collaborate on future projects? And now they have to do a ton of mental labor to get to the point where they can actually respond to the email. So this is super high friction. Also, they have no idea whether or not them responding to you is going to be some string attached. You just saying, I'd love it if you could take a look at our work right after you put the work there is kind of silly because odds are if you put the work there, they're going to look at the work. And then, yeah, you have no call to action, man. And then you're linking like a website and images, presumably with no asset that you're giving them. It's just all over the place, pretty rough as far as emails go. So yeah, man, I do some personalization here personally. I go, hi, X, love, company name, and specifically, whatever project that they were a part of that they did in company name, which I know you had a strong hand in or something. Then I'd say, I know this is out of left field, or I know this is, I know we've never spoke or something. I just try and acknowledge how weird it is that you're reaching out. But I'd make it heavy on the implication that you have done your research on this person, which the personalization will imply. My brother and I create high-end glass art inspired by architectural things, including chandeliers and sculptures. And, or I don't know, I've wanted to be an architect for a long time. Now my brother, so despite not being able to, whatever the heck is the story you want to come up with or something, my brother and I now create high-end glass art, including chandeliers and sculptures that are inspired by architectural designs. And in particular, I was inspired by XYZ's curvy fluid motion, whatever, like whatever the development is. Then I'd clarify and crystallize what it is that you want from them. Do you want to book a call with them? Do you want to sell them on something? Do you have some sort of like defined funnel you want to put them through? Crystallize that. And then you just ask them right then and there. And then you could also say, a quick way to get around the deliverability hit is if they are interested at the very bottom, you could tell them if you're not sure who I am or if you're skeptical or something like that, just Google and then just add the term and then they'll actually Google it. And you know what that'll actually do for the term as well? It'll make it rank higher on the search because Google will rank things that get Googled higher than things that don't. And then, just have a defined call to action, man. And then have some sort of risk mitigation, give something away for free. But yeah, bro, this thing that you're doing is not very good. Bim Voice says, what little microphone are you using? It's a Hollyland, I think. How do I connect it to my mic? I don't actually have it with me here. It's somewhere in my backpack. It's pretty simple, man. There's this little like USB port. So I put it into my laptop at the USB key, sort of like a USB key. And then I take it out of the little container. The container is actually a charger. And I just pin it here. And then it just basically works out of the box. It provides a new input method to my Mac. So I can like get to that input method by going up here and then going sound. And you'll just see it come up here as like wireless input or something like that. Creating Jake says $5 the boxer's shot was the most replayed moment in the video. Yeah, I had a boxer's shot in that video. If you guys want to see a spicy boxer's shot, check that out. Wasim says, can you make a video on LinkedIn outreach? I kind of pitch our AI services to potential customers on LinkedIn. Also, should we have a lead magnet or like be direct with them? Yeah, for sure. I would have a lead magnet and or be direct with them. But the lead magnet I'd have is actually I'd be really customized about this. I'd like actually record a custom loom like I do with my Upwork stuff. The reason why is because LinkedIn limits are 20 a day. So realistically, you want to make sure that you squeeze as much juice out of those 20 a day as humanly possible. If you have 20 a day, you can theoretically just record like 3-minute loom videos to 60 people, and that'll take you an hour, plus the sending, maybe another 10 minutes. So it's like, it's 70 minutes a day on your end, which is a lot of time, don't get me wrong, but it's not that much time. It's like, a seventh of your actual work day. And you get to max out your LinkedIn limit, which is taking full utilization of an asset. I don't think it's that bad. So yeah, that's probably what I would do. I mean, I could definitely make a video on it, but just to be abundantly clear here, I haven't made like a ton of money with LinkedIn outreach. I've made a ton of money with Upwork, cold email, social media now. So these are things that I'm like hyper qualified to talk about. I can definitely point you in the right direction with all this stuff. But like, if you look at my LinkedIn profile, it's kind of trash. And the reason why it's kind of trash is because I used it sparingly when I was doing I was scaling my agency. But yeah, they're good funnels on LinkedIn for sure. Good God. Okay. All right. I'll leave it there. Just before I talk to my, I think, Bulgarian brother over here, Vasislav. I don't know if you are. I believe you are. But as I mentioned, I'm a little bit tired today, so I don't know if I'll necessarily be able to remember you, unfortunately. I feel like you're in the community, Vasislav. All right, guys, let's do some brand stats really quick. Just going to open up my numbers. The numbers, Mason, what do they mean? I've been asking myself that question for the better part of the last 14 years. And have yet to find out. But the one thing that I do know is that the bigger they are, the better. Thank you, Call of Duty. 6,072 over here. All right, so what am I seeing here, guys? I'm not seeing much growth. Why? Because I recorded this video like 9 hours ago or something. So it hasn't really been, 924 is 0.375. So if I multiply 0.375 by the previous day's growth, 977, I get about 366. Wow. That is insane. Actually, we get basically that exact number. So odds are number-wise growth is the same. I have a feeling the same applies here. Same applies here as well. The daily updates views have definitely been going down. I'm kind of curious. Is the reason for that because people are starting to unsubscribe from daily updates? What do you guys think? Are people saying no to the daily updates? Do people not want the daily updates? Are people saying, hey, I'm going to unsubscribe? How do I check unsubscribes? Can I see unsubscribes? Let's see. See unsubscribes on YouTube. Okay. No shit, idiots. Come on, guys. We're asking a very valid question here. It's not a motivational question. Recent subscribe, no. Unsub. Okay, well, unsub. No, we don't know who, but... All right, well, anyway, that's been pretty brutal. I hate when people do that stuff like that. Like, you ask a totally valid question, and they're like, well, why would you want to do that? That's stupid. That's silly. And it's like, yeah, no, it's silly, but I still ask the question, so are you going to answer the question or not? I try and do that in my communities. Like, if somebody asks a question, even if it is objectively a silly question, even if I've answered that question somewhere else, even if that question does not really have any merit, even if it's a nonsensical question, I still kind of like try and take the spirit of the question and then answer it. But then I'll always say, like, but to be honest, more generally, I wouldn't never actually do this or something. But hey, I guess that's why Maker School makes the big bucks. Am I right? Cha-ching. Okay, so let me just make this my face, and then let me check out my note taker and see if there's anything I can pontificate upon with you. My to-do list is update Maker School email setup with a section about Namecheap's MX record thing. That's cool. Create Apollo and verify the scraping cap. That seems like something I could do with you guys. All right, so I was told the other day, well, there we go. I guess I just showed the whole thing here anyway. Let's do Nick 30. I was told that, oh, I guess I just removed that, that Apollo now doesn't let you scrape if you, it doesn't let you, or limits the number of emails you can scrape, even with a verified and paid for Appify account, if you just sign up new. So that's what I'm going to do right now. I'm just going to figure that out. Why? Because it takes like 3 minutes for me to verify this. And I'm, as I mentioned, a little too tired to realistically want to do much more than this. So I'm going to enter my email, sign up for free here. Probably going to get some, verification email. Okay, which is over here now. Pardon me. I'm not actually seeing Apollo. Is there supposed to be a verification email here or something? Oh yeah, it is. There we go. Thank you. Let's activate the account. Nick S. Let's just do a silly password. It's really interesting. Theoretically, you guys could probably find out what my password is that I just typed in there. By isolating the audio. I was watching a television show where they did something like this. You isolate the audio from the microphone, and then you perform some math to try and figure out the distance and the amount of time it takes per keystroke, and the differences in how long the audio took to go from my key hitting the thing to here based off of like some math. And you could figure out, okay, did he type O, M, G, F, F, S, right? Like you could actually like do the math on that. That's kind of neat, huh? All right, anyway. All right. We are skipping the hell out of this. Okay. Would you like to invite any teammates? No. Continue. All right. So now that I have this, apparently people are saying that the lists that you make with this stuff, despite the fact that there's no cookies or whatever, you can only scrape 100 people. All right. So how many of this list? 1.76 mil. All right. So I'm going to take this. I'll go back to my main thing. I'll go to Appify now. I'm going to go to Code Crafter. It's 50,000. I'll click try for free. I see no reason why this would only allow you to do that many. I mean, it just seems so silly to me, but. And then what do I need? I need 500 clean output. What does this do? I knew this once upon a time. Oh, yeah, for sure. Definitely clean the output. That must be a new feature. I don't remember that being around. Okay, so now I'm starting. I'm on a free Appify plan. That's the issue. Yeah. Well, obviously I'm on the free Appify plan. But that's not what I care about. Oh, jeez. Did I change my freaking... Probably. One sec. Yeah, this is my thing. Okay, so now I'm gonna go back to here. I gotta grab that god darn list, paste it in. Definitely clean the hell out of that output. Now click save. All right. So what I think people are confusing this with is when you have an Appify account that is new, they don't let you scrape more than 100 records without now purchasing the $39 a month plan. I have a 30% off code, so really it's like $26 for $39 worth of credits. That $39 worth of credits, if you think about it, will allow you to scrape something like 40,000 leads, approximately, mathematically. That's how that's working. So what everybody's saying, or what these people were saying to me in my group and also throughout YouTube, like, is you now need a paid Apollo account if you want to scrape them. That makes no sense unless they are somehow adding some information in the URL string, which they shouldn't. I mean, I guess they could if they embedded a cookie in the URL string or something like that, but that would just be dumb. There's no way for them to know that you're creating this list on an Apollo account that's not verified. Because when you scrape with Appify, you're not actually adding in your cookies. All you're doing is you're just like generating a URL, and then they actually have the infrastructure and the Apollo accounts, whatever this Codecrafter service is, that does that for you. So yeah, I guess just to make a long story short, no magic here, ladies and gentlemen. We're almost at 500. If I go down to output now, we got a bunch of email addresses. That was easy peasy, lemon squeezy, cost me 60 cents. So yeah, looks like we put that thing to rest. So you just need to make sure that you pay for the, Appify subscription. That's the one thing that matters. Just while I'm at it, is there anything else that people have just been like asking me silly questions for the longest time that I can't solve in like 30 seconds? This is why some days I really like being tired, because other days I'd look at this and I'd say, you know what, I'll just deal with this later. And then something more important comes up. But your prioritization, and I guess just your ability to do anything when you're running off of very few hours of sleep, is just so poor that you just say, screw it, let's get going, let's give it a try anyway. On a meta level, it is probably beneficial every now and then not to sleep, because if you don't sleep that much, then you approach problems slightly differently. Obviously, the vast majority of the time you should be sleeping, though. Don't ever let me encourage you guys to have shitty lifestyle habits that directly contribute to you dying faster. All right, guys, that's it. Have a lovely rest of the day. Looking forward to checking in with y'all tomorrow. And then, yeah, from here on out, I'm going to be doing these a lot earlier in the mornings, which I'm really excited for, because I really hate that feeling at the back of my mind where it's like, I have to do this thing that I've committed to doing before I fall asleep tonight. I'd much rather do it like in the first few hours when I wake up. And yeah, this cycle of consistency is going to start snowballing again, which I'm pretty stoked for.